what was the most difficult transition for you from your childhood to your adulthood?
Adulting. The transition itself.
Welcome, y'all, back to another episode. So, on this episode, we have a very special guest, Miss Kenya. So happy to have you.
Thank
Very
you.
grateful to have you. Before we get into anything, can you just tell me how you're doing today?
Oh my goodness. I am all right. I went
Yeah.
to the nail shop this morning, and that is a part of self-care, which I know we're gonna talk about
Let me see.
this
Let me see the
morning. Look,
nails. Oh,
look, it's a whole story behind my nails, y'all, and
these
we're gonna
nails
get
are
into
cute.
that within the
Yeah.
self-care when we talk about
Mm-hmm.
that. But yeah, so that was my morning so
So,
far.
okay, I went on your website. So, I just
Yay.
want you to come on here and tell us a little bit about you and what you do as a relationship coach.
I am a relationship coach, and I've been a relationship coach since 2016. But not just any relationship coach. I'm the relationship coach that don't play. Okay?
Right. I
Because
saw it said no nonsense. I saw that.
all
No
right, because
nonsense.
I help individuals unlearn and relearn relationship dynamics. You know, you only know what you know, where you grew up, your environment and everything. But what happens is, and not just intimate relationships. I'm talking friendships, homegirlships, best friendship, families. That's big too, because it all starts in the home.
Yep.
Right. And so the problem is when you go out and you start to meet other individuals and that wasn't raised in the same environment as you, that's where the conflicts arise, right?
That's right.
And you're confused. You're like, hold on, because this is how it's supposed to go, and the other person like, no, this is how it's supposed to go.
Right.
And so for me, I help individuals unlearn what they've learned before in their childhood or just growing up, and relearn some relationship dynamics. Because I mean, everything changes. The generations evolve, social media, everything. And I don't like to blame everything on social media, but it is a factor and it's evolving.
Mm-hmm.
And so you have to just learn how to align and connect with other individuals. And that's what I do. But I do it in a fun, entertainment way. It's not
I can
psychology. Don't
tell.
come sit on my couch. No, we play games. All right,
Mm-hmm.
I do karaoke. I bust out in a dance and a song in a minute.
And
Okay.
do you do it virtually or is it just in person?
Both.
Yes.
Both of them, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Because again, I love to travel and I travel as well. I would say I was just in Houston last month and I'll be in Georgia, Stattenberg in October. And so I travel, but I'm more in person. So during the pandemic, it was a little difficult for me, not for the business, but just for me because of the interaction that I gotta have
Right.
with my people.
Right.
I give tools, I give workshops, I give trinkets, and I can't give that to you, here.
Free. Yeah.
Yes, but yeah,
I
so
feel
that's
that.
what I'm all about. I'm all about thriving because people unfortunately wait for traumatic situations. They wait for dramatic situations. And no, we don't
Mm-hmm.
have to do that. Through self-discovery and reflection, we can all just be cordial and go on. It's too
Right.
many people in the world. Too many
Right.
people. All right,
Yeah,
look,
man.
we found each other. I ain't never seen you in my
Right. But
41
we
years of
found a way
life
to
and ever.
network.
And here we are. So there are so many people out there to stay in conflict with someone who just doesn't align and isn't open.
So the first thing I really want to talk about with you is personal development.
Mm-hmm.
So can you just tell me what personal development means to you personally?
Mm-hmm. Yes. So for me, it goes beyond just the standard, right?
Right.
It is you, like you said, personally, it's about your development and nobody else has to know about it. That's the other thing. So when it's called personal development, that's something that you discover within yourself through
Mm-hmm.
patterns. Okay. And I'm not just talking about, because like I said, we all think that we grew up the right way. We
Mm-hmm.
all think that we walk in this path until
Stuck
we
in our
reach,
ways.
until we reach someone or something that lets us know, like, hold on, right? And so when you start to see a pattern of that from environments, not just people, but that's when you really have to take into account yourself and work on that personal development. But it has to start with being open. You have to
Mm-hmm.
first be like, okay, maybe I do need to adjust that. Or if so many people, are saying, or if this isn't working for me, right? Because again, it's not just when people telling you stuff, it's just the way you're moving, the
Right.
attraction, right? And so for me, it's about recognizing that recognizing what doesn't make you feel good, right? And then going out to find the tools to know what's going to make you feel good and develop. And it's not just a one-time thing. Personal development is so ongoing.
Lifetime.
Woo.
Lifetime.
Yes. So that's what and it's more about internal. Like I said, don't let anyone, know about your personal development journey. And I'm not saying don't share your stories or anything, but what I'm saying is those outside influences. So for an example, if it's something that a friend or a family member said, and then you express to them, then they're going to try to start inserting more and it's just like, hold on, I was just telling you, like, I personally have found my tools and here it is. So that's what it's about.
So do you have a personal story that you want to share with us, that a personal development story that you had recently or in your life?
Listen, so many. I'm 41 years old. I have a 21-year-old daughter. I tell people all the time, I'm in my 5th life, maybe even my 7th. And everyone is so afraid to change and start over. No. But baby, it's my 5th or 7th one. I'm going to go back to my chapters and figure it out, okay? But, oh my God, which one? Right? I was thinking which one I wanted to share because there's so many. But I will share this one because it's starting to be very important and highlighted, especially on my YouTube channel. I have a video called I Didn't Choose Him, and That's Okay, on my YouTube channel. And it was a late night rant about how I did not choose my daughter's father back in the day. Broke off a whole engagement. Right? And it was simply due to that personal development. I grew up in a loving 2-parent home. So when I got with him and we got pregnant, it was just like, oh, okay, let's do this. I was young and why not? I grew up this way. But as I realized, it didn't even take me long to realize that I did not want to be with him for the rest of my life. Right? But we got this baby going on. Being with him, it took me 7 years, y'all. And if y'all looking at YouTube, it's broken down into parts and I still got some to go. But to come up with my exit plan. And through that exit plan, a lot of personal development was happening, but not just within me. It was the trigger to know that he wasn't for me. You know what I mean? I wasn't developing together with him as a family. I was developing by myself. What are you here for? You know what I mean? That's not a personal development. Then I started personally developing on my own. We're not a family unit there, and so
what's the point at that point?
What is the point? When I turned 25, that's why I said that was my year, because that's when I turned 25 in January. I was engaged in February. I had an engagement party in July. Then I was unengaged in August. All right.
And you wasn't playing.
Was not. And it went through there. So that is exactly where one of my many personal development journeys took place and happened. And that's why I started Kenya's Keepsake. That's the name of my business and my enterprise is Kenya's Keepsake. And it's for that reason. Because, I thought that I had to stay there because I grew up in a loving 2-parent home. And I was trying to make it a loving 2-parent home. That wasn't my journey. That wasn't my personal development strategy.
I like that you mentioned that because a lot of people will stay, they'll stay for the baby. They
will stay.
Kids. But what about you?
Exactly.
Because if you're not happy, how can you be happy for the baby?
And let me tell you something. Again, my daughter's 21, college graduate, a part of a sorority, about to be promoted in her job. And I'm never going to say that someone doesn't miss their other parent or have that absentee. But I have a very supportive family. I have me and my father, my brother, her godfather has stepped in and she didn't miss that male figure. You know what I mean? But you can ask her. She's like, I don't even remember when you and my dad were together. Hey, exactly. Because the parents are so worried about how they would feel if their parents aren't together and this and that. And listen, let me tell you guys something. People think that growing up in a 2-parent home is the cheat code. I loved it. I thrived in it. My brother and I, it's just 2 of us. Yes, we have a success story, but that doesn't mean that it has been easy for me encountering other people because my daughter's father, He was cool. Like, he wasn't a bad person. He just wasn't for me. Let me say that right. There were no fussing, no fighting. He never raised his voice. He was just not for me, right? And so when you get into that space and you feel that, you have to know what aligns. You just have to know what aligns with you, because so many people would think that because I had a 2-parent home, my relationships are going to be great. Well, he didn't grow up. Well, he did grow up in a 2-parent home until a certain age. But even that, the relationship with his family was just, and again, not a toxic one. It's crazy. There are a lot of people dealing with toxic ones. That's not my story, but that doesn't mean that my story was not desirable as well, because it was distant. He was distant from his family. So that made him distant and not have those. My family is turned. All right, we gonna have a barbecue. But if we turning up at a barbecue and you're sitting in the corner, you know,
it's not your vibe.
Not at all. Yes. So, like I said, I'm going through the whole part series on YouTube, and it starts there. But listen,
definitely tuned in.
You guys do not have to choose. And when I tell you, it took me 7 years. And of course I was like, I could have did this a long time ago, but I don't ever discount my journey, because back to the topic, it helped me with my personal development within myself. I learned a lot about myself. Listen, I was 19 when I had my daughter. I'm a new mother. Look, I couldn't even drink yet. All right. So it's like life is happening and I'm trying to roll with it. You guys don't have to choose for the children. You guys don't have to do that.
You mentioned an interesting point though about, growing up in a 2-parent household. So that's how you know how to communicate. And somebody like me, I didn't grow up in a 2-parent household. My mom, my dad, like your daughter, I don't remember. I think they got divorced when I was 6 maybe, and I don't know. I remember little pieces and parts, but that's neither here nor there. It's hard to have conversations and converse with people who didn't grow up in the same environment as you, because like you said, it is different. So how did you find ways to learn how to communicate effectively with people from different places and different cultures?
That's really good, because with Kenya's keepsake, mastering conflict resolution is my signature presentation. I take that everywhere. Okay. Like, everyone wants me to come out and do mastering conflict resolution, because there's 5 styles. Right. And you have to, the most effective one is the collaborative style, of course. Right. So then you have the aggressive style, the manipulative style, so many other styles. But when you're equipped with what's the most effective one, it's easier for someone to try to come down on your level for you to get turned up with them. Right. Because there's also 5 communication styles. I teach that one too. And that's what I do. A lot of people don't know this. So I bring it to light. I will teach you every style that there is so that you can identify. There's attachment styles. I know a lot of people, the only one that a lot of people really heard of are the 5 love languages, and those can do with my eyes closed, but yet and still, a lot of people don't know about them or even what they are. I do apology styles. Listen, so these are the type of things that brought me along to develop how to communicate with other people, other individuals, and also develop the tools to know how to say when it's like, all right, it's them, it's not me. So I don't care how many styles I break out right now, it's not going to resonate. So I'm gonna go ahead and exit. And that's what it was. Yes, because it's about how you feel. If you like to feel good, you're going to develop self-awareness, because all of those other things that don't align and those people that, just didn't, they're going to make you feel some kind of way. And you don't want to walk in that every day of your life.
Nope.
So at some point, you're going to be like, yeah, no.
Y'all gotta go.
And I don't care who it is. Growing up, it used to be Kenya's cold-hearted. Oh my gosh, she don't. Then it turned to don't mess with Kenya. Y'all know how Kenya is. And it's more just because I'm like you said, no nonsense. And I'm very solution-driven. All right, so we're going to do this. Now listen, I will panic a cool minute. But after that, what we gonna do?
Then we're gonna get it done.
What we gonna do?
That's so
you feel me? Like, I'm gonna have to break down. And again, there is nothing wrong with a breakdown, because when you don't break down, what happens? It builds up. It builds up. You got to break it down to give yourself time to build back up. You don't want this tall
and then
tall build up. Exactly. Because then you're going to have way too much to break down. So you need to,
and that's just going to slow you down in the long run.
Exactly. You feel me? So that it's just about first being open. You have to be open. I could give the tools all day. I can come and I can tell you all day. But if you are not open, and if you are just like, nah, that ain't it, then I got to move on to the next open person.
You gotta be teachable. I'm big on that. I'm big on staying teachable because I'm never gonna know everything, and I love learning from other people. You know, and knowing things, and you have to have, because like you said, everybody know about them love languages, but what else? Know how to apologize. That's a really big one. I'm gonna need to read up on that class.
Yes, I'm gonna send you a free. I'll send you a free resource to the apology styles.
That's the thing. A lot of people don't know how to apologize. No. That might be me, and I need to be aware on that, you know?
Right. And also, look, I take it a step further. And I'll teach the 5 stages, but then I'll go back and I'll do it on the receiving end too, because that is even more important than that. So what I mean by that, for an example, let's go with the love languages, since that's the easiest one. And what do you know? What's your love language?
Quality time.
Okay.
I would say I like quality time. Yeah, I'm real simple, you know?
Right.
I'm real simple.
All right, so here we go. Good. Mine is quality time with physical touch. So you know what that means, right? You know what that means. But, right. So say you get with a guy, right? Yours is quality time. Say you get with a guy and all he do is buy you bags, shoes, drop them off. Here you go, baby. That's not what you feel me? But that's receiving gifts. That's a whole nother one. Because again, there's 5. So that's one. So I go further and teach it on the receiving end, because everybody doesn't even understand. Yes, you like quality time, but he's in up here thinking like, oh, this bag, I'm gonna drop that off, baby, you good? Yeah. And you like, no. Come sit with me. Let's talk the details of this bag.
Right.
You feel me?
Let's look at
let me walk around in it. Let's do my model. You know what I'm saying? Let's pick an outfit in the club. You know, but so people have to understand that there's a receiving end, because that's the issue. People walk into relationships, and again, not just intimate, but let's just go there. People walk into relationships expecting, and that's a word that expectation word, that's another one. But you go into it expecting for that person to know what you want, to know what you need, to know how to operate with you, right? But then they're doing what they know. You know, maybe they've only been accustomed to gifts. Maybe they only believe that you want the gifts and that's it.
Can't fault people for what they don't know.
Exactly. You know, and it's outside of barking demands too. Again, we can get into that too, because there's a whole thing about standards and telling people what you want. Like, no, that's not what I mean. Now, those are demands, and that is actually setting someone up for failure immediately. Let me tell you that when you go into it barking your demands and telling your standards and expectations, that's immediate. Don't do that. I'm telling the people, don't do that. But again, that's a whole nother.
So how do you deal with the failure? When you're on your personal development journey, you set yourself out for a goal and you don't meet that goal. How do you navigate through that?
You know, I talk to myself a lot. I talk to myself. People say you're your biggest critic, you're your own. I don't really like to use the word critic, right? Because negative connotation, you're criticizing, whether it's good, bad. You know, people be like, oh, constructive. All right, fine. But you just have to talk to yourself realistically. Like, did I set that goal too high for myself? Right? Did I know in the beginning? That's the other thing. Sometimes I be knowing. I know. Like, you know you wasn't supposed to be over there. You know you wasn't supposed to be in that situation. Or, let's just even go on a little. You know you wasn't supposed to be asleep when you were supposed to go ahead and do that task. And then, you know.
You're supposed to be studying or something else.
Right. So, it's just a realization. Because, again, it's personal development. You have to take ownership from what you did and your part in the failure. But also understand what was out of your control, too. That's why I say it's not a critic and don't criticize, because a lot of things are out of your control. You know, it could be cancellations. That's out of your control. And that could be considered a failure because you could be set up, ready. You could think that this is your big break. You are ready. You done told the world that this is going
that
down.
You have this guess, right?
You know,
no, and then, that's so real. That's so real. I had that happen to me like literally last week. I had a podcast. I was very, very excited. Still very, very excited about it. But what happened was we had a time zone mishap. And I was like, dang, it is crazy because Google lied to me, y'all. Google told me it was this time and it was that time, and you know, and it just was a whole nother thing. So it felt like a failure. It really did.
Right. It does. But it's one of those things where it's out of control. I mean, same thing, especially technology, right? We're all in the world. I used to be in person, technology, but it fails us so much. It's a gift and a curse. There was a time where, again, anticipating to go on a podcast. This was a live podcast. It was about 10 guests. And we were in there, but they were in, I don't remember what state they were. Tornado was coming. Power outage. And I know that she had to feel that. You know, she had to feel that too. So when it's out of your control, it still, but just like pump up the anticipation for the next one. That's all. Right. You just got to make sure that no one else sees it as a failure, because here's the other thing that I am learning, right? And I'm still learning to this day. Nobody knows that it's a failure but you. I had to learn that. I will be on it because I hold monthly mixes. I have one this Friday actually. And the prepping, the background when the food is late and this and that, I'm running around, but my guests, they are in there like, woo!
Everything good.
Best time. And I'm like, oh my God. And even when I'm like, we're going to start late, my makeup not done, everything. People around there mingling, new people like, I saw him over there. We exchanged time. Because me, I'm like, they going to talk about me. They going to be like, King, you don't ever start on time. Like, whew, best time ever.
No, they're having a good time. They're not even worried about all that.
So, again, talk to yourself. Make sure that it's in your control and solution-based. Because there's always a next time. Always. I don't care what anyone says. There's going to always be a next time. You know, especially if you've built that rapport with people. And if it was not out of maliciousness or anything like that. So that's how I deal with failures. But also, like I said, take account for business. I've had a lot of business failures, and it had to do with personalities and people. You know, not out of my control. Partnerships that everyone wasn't on my same level of business minded set, you know, because they're just pushing their product. And I'm like, wait a minute, contract, what's happening, you know, money, all of that. So yeah, it's been a lot of failures, but as long as you take those failures and step on them, they'll be all right.
I like that you're solution based, because a lot of people that have problems, they'll know they'll have problems and they just want to complain about the problem. Okay, but what are we going to do about these problems? I don't like a whole bunch of complaining. You know, I want to, you know, I understand, you know, we all going to feel how we feel and we're going to be frustrated, but we got to, all right, what we going to do about it? That, you know, that's how I know.
It's one thing to vent. Venting is great. Right. Please vent all day. But okay, then after that, right? I only need it for a day. Because tomorrow, we about to keep it pushing.
So you spoke about your family. It seems like you came from a great home. I love that for you. So is there anything that you wish you knew as a child that you know now as an adult?
Oh my God, so much. Listen, family's everything. You know, but I have boundaries. This is the thing. Family is everything, but I have boundaries, and my daughter has boundaries. I'm teaching her and have taught her how to have boundaries as well. So as great as we were, I'm not saying that, they're not crazy. All right. Cause they run your girl low. All right. But and it's a running joke. I tell my parents and my dad all the time, and even my godmother, they made it seem like it was so easy. They made it seem, growing up in my childhood home, because I'm a homeowner now myself, growing up in my childhood home, thinking about it now, I'd be like, Daddy, you did not tell me that this was not the life. All right, I don't like it. And then you think back, I'm like, that house was kind of raggedy, wasn't it? Like, but it's your childhood house. I'm like, dang, that garage was always, that back bathroom was up. But it was, so I'm like, maybe my dad did show me when he was in there fixing it, but I just thought that it was cute.
Until it's your responsibility.
Exactly. So those are the things. But at the same time, how could my dad have done that? You know, he wasn't, because like you said, complaining. He wasn't going to sit up there and be like, my dad never complained about anything to this day. To this day, he doesn't complain about anything. And if he does, it's that funny, like, and then he just does it, right?
And then get it done.
Right. So then I think about it, I'm like, how could he? Because he wasn't in there fixing pipes, huffing and puffing and complaining to us. We woke up one morning, he was in there and it was over. So I do wish that I did learn that life was a little difficult growing up. Just the hardships, just the things you don't talk about. I'm not talking about the going to work and the coming home. No, I'm talking about those hard responsibilities. But on the flip side, my mom did teach me about business. When she did the bills, I remember my mom having, the stack on there with the stamps and the gun on there. And whenever it was payday, she wrote her check. She taught me how to do the registers on the check. People don't use checkbooks no more. But my mom was very business. So, I took that part and it was a lot. I say I had a really great childhood. Not saying there wasn't hard times or hardships and I didn't learn, because there were outside things, my uncles, my granny, everybody else was a mess. But I appreciate my family for keeping my brother and I, in our home, in that family structure, which spills out into everyone, because our house was the one all our friends came to. We rarely went to sleepovers. Everybody wanted to come in my house. My dad was the bread man. Yeah, my dad, he worked for Hostess. He was the bread man. All the cupcakes, all the snacks, the house used to come to. If I don't ever see a ding dong or a Twinkie in my life, I am all right. Okay?
Yeah. They don't even taste the same no more. Okay?
Good.
Fell off.
See? Yes. But yeah, those are the things that I wish that. But then I gotta be honest, I don't know if I wanted to
I was
know
gonna
those
say
things.
because it's a beautiful thing that they were able to. I won't say hide it, but they were able to, just make everything good for y'all. Because as children, that's what y'all deserve.
Yes. And I say that, so let me throw in a plot twist though, really quickly, right? So I'm 41 years old. Plot twist: my parents are divorced now. So that's a plot twist, right? But it just happened November of last. So we're coming up on 1 year though. But that just shows you how, and I will say I'm 41, my brother, we're 5 years apart, he's 36, and I have a 21-year-old daughter. This just happened in November. So I can't even come on here and be like, y'all, my parents stayed for the kids.
Nope.
I was out of my house when I was 19 because I had my child and started my own family. My brother moved to a different state, and then he comes back and forth, but we're grown. So I love that, again, even within that, my mom, she's a breast cancer survivor, 8 years, but my dad was still there during that time, and still, even now, it's still, there's my mama's, like, look, it's still some family stuff going on. My mama's a mess, all right? But we're still cordial. We're still, there is not any like turmoil, fighting, dysfunction, or I'm not gonna say dysfunction because again, family crazy, y'all.
It's family, right? It's family.
But you see what I'm saying? And a lot of people were on me when I broke off my engagement. They were like, you didn't grow up like that. What are you doing? Oh my God. Like, I got so much backlash for doing what I thought was right. For what I knew was right. Let me not even say what I thought. For what I knew was right.
That.
Exactly.
Nobody else feels how you feel.
Exactly. And what nobody gonna be there with me when I'm tired of looking at him in my living room, which I was.
And then everybody gonna be like, oh, well, blah, blah, blah. You married him, boy.
Right. So this is another thing I want to tell everybody. Damned if you do, damned if you don't. So do what you do. All right? Because if I would have stayed and if I was unhappy, it would have been like, you're miserable. Oh my gosh, you're okay. You need anything? I don't need to be with him. That's what I don't need to be. But then when you break up and you leave, it's like, oh my God. Do you? What feels right? I never looked back. Like, I never regretted from that day when I did my exit plan. never was like, oh my God. And let me tell you guys something else. He never not once made me want to regret it. Like, he didn't grow. He still, to this day, he is still not the person
what you need. Yeah.
Never. Like, there is nothing. And my daughter even said, I'm like, did you ever see it? She was like, couldn't even see y'all together.
No.
So that's what I'm saying. It's about how you raise your children, or not even, because, you know, a lot of people aren't parents yet, but it's really about your reflection, how you speak. And for parents and for you and your children, it's about how your small environment, how you feel, it doesn't have to be how you were raised. It really doesn't, because times are changed. Think about it in music. Yeah, I still listen to the music that my mom and my dad listen to, and my daughter listens to the music I listen to. But my daughter would probably be iffy on listening to the songs that my mom and my dad listen to, right? So why would I teach her? Right. So why would I try to teach her the same things that was taught then that is now? You know, so
Give the people one piece of advice that you want to give them if they're trying to start their personal development journey today.
Yes. Look within yourself. And like I said, starts with feels good to you. Think about times and people in situations where you felt good, uplifted. I'm like, even look back at pictures. Look back at pictures in situations where you were smiling, you were turned up, and then find those pictures in the background where you like,
or the smile not genuine, you know it's not.
Right. And you start there and really filter that out. And then from there, you'll know where you need to go and where you need to be. It's personal for me, for people to have personal development, because I talk to you guys all day, every day, and you interact with people. And I see them in stores and all of that. And I'm like, hey, chill. So that's what I want everybody to do.
Down. That's a big thing to know. What was the most difficult transition for you from your childhood to your adulthood?
Adulting. The transition itself. The transition itself, to know that no one is going to save you in your adulthood because they're an adult themselves. That's number one. And I want y'all to catch that, because when you're a child, someone has the responsibility, right? You have to, it's legal. You gotta, your kids have to go to school. If you don't, the parent go to jail. Like, it's legal to raise. That's why the whole 18 years old is in place, which is another thing that I like to touch on, because I don't love the fact that this the mentality of kicking people out at 18.
Right.
My daughter, if she wasn't in college, the only reason why she left was because she went to college. That's it. She could come back home all day. She has a room, everything like that. And I had the same. Only reason why I left my house was because I was pregnant and he couldn't move in. Okay. Right. I could have been in my parents' house all day, but he wasn't. And I was trying to create that family dynamic. So the transition of knowing that at some point, the people that have adulted for you are now adults and going through their own things, you have to start figuring it out. But taking those tools as well, and not taking that personally. A lot of people, and I dealt with this personally, a lot of people that, because I'm the golden child, right? I'm the business minded. I'm the one, well, me and my mom, but you know, then it came from my mom. And it's crazy because now it's trickling on to my daughter.
To your daughter.
We are the business ones that come to, I'm talking resourceful, who this, who that, where can we find this? Where should we go to eat? Oh my God. Right. And so when I didn't have the capacity, this is another word that I use all the time and I love it. When I didn't have the capacity to give that to them anymore, they were shooketh. Like, hold on. Well, how am I supposed to, what? Like, I got people, my cousin DMing me now asking to do something and I didn't respond. He like, question mark. Boy, but personal development, at some point I did know that was on me. Because I had did it for them for so long, so that's unfair for this one renewal time or annual time when they need me. I'm like, do it, what? They like, wait, what? So that's hard too, because when you're trying to deal with your own stuff that is coming at you, you know, that you don't even know that your childhood did not prepare you for, y'all have to be ready. And don't take it personal, right? And also don't take it as that it's just you going through this. because it's not,
Right.
it's hard to say that and to think that. And my daughter is one that'll tell me, she told me years ago, don't tell me it's gonna be okay. I'm not that girl. I don't want to know. I want to sit here and I want to do that. And she's absolutely right, because I'm very careful with my words too. Like, it's okay, it's gonna be all right. And even I had to learn that with the sorry for your loss. Some people be like, don't be sorry.
Right.
It's cool. Or, you know, like when I broke off my engagement, oh, I'm so,
Look,
we good.
I'm celebrating.
Right. So that would be what I would say about adulting from childhood. And also, again, my daughter is doing it as well right now, transitioning from adulting because she's graduated from college now. So here's another transition. It was one from high school to college, right? And then there was another one from college to now adulting. Like, I'm talking, we're not in student housing, we're not in the apartments no more.
Yeah.
You paying rent to these people that's gonna want it on the first.
And they're not playing about it at all. Ever.
No.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
that the
real.
transition,
That is real.
make sure that, because what is, oh my God, it's so funny. It's everything entangles in. I don't know, have you seen the Cam Newton, Dr. Bryant, Nick Cannon? All right. What I want to highlight is that it was one part of the Nick Cannon, because they were talking about broken homes. And I did another video on broken homes because I don't like the term. They consider a single parent home a broken home. And I get it. It's society that says that. But it's a little triggering for me because I grew up in both. I had both experiences. I grew up in a loving two parent home, but then I raised my daughter in a single parent home. So,
And
but don't tell my daughter that she grew up in a broken home. You see what I'm saying? Like, and don't tell me that I raised my daughter in a broken home, because I did not. Now, society will go like, yes, the definition, one person is out. All right, well then, can we just keep it as a single parent home? Don't say it's a broken. But I say that to say Nick Cannon stated that he teaches his children, or he shows they're number one. You're number one. I put you before everything and everybody, and don't worry about it and all that. The problem with that is that you're setting your children up for a life that they can't maintain when they start adulting.
Because they can't always be that.
And then you get with somebody, you get into a job, you get into that where you are an employee, but you want to go in there and say, my daddy told me that I need the first shift. And y'all, when it's thinking about the promotion, I need to be the first one y'all look into. And then even relationships. Prepare yourself for any transition. But when that transition comes, when you come to adulthood, know what it means for you in your life. Does it feel good or does it not? You don't have to go with everything just because everything is going with it. And I tell my daughter that as well. I have 2 regrets in life. Let me share that with y'all. I have 2 regrets. They're real big ones. The first one is not going to an HBCU. Right? And it's not because I got pregnant. It's because when I graduated, I didn't get it. Me and my best friend. So I have a best friend, womb to the tomb. We're literally best friends from the womb because our parents are best friends. And we had dreams, right? We both didn't get into Spelman. Killed us. We said, oh, what? That's every little girl's dream. Well, almost every little girl's dream, right? It was over. She went to Cal State Long, because we're from California. She went to Cal State Long Beach. I went to Dominguez Hills. But I was offered a full-time corporate job at 19, 18, and I was like, what? Y'all gonna pay me for?
Are we like that?
And then I had a baby.
They'll do how they supposed to fall.
Right? And so my best friend went on, pledge, sorority, all of that. I had my daughter, but I ended up eventually going back to school in corporate while I was still in corporate America. Full-time mom, full-time employee, as well as full-time student. Got my psychology degree, and that's where I am now. But maintaining, you have to create a life that you're able to maintain when you're out in the real world.
Get into this career.
From that story, from my daughter's father, I started this for that reason. A, my journey with my daughter's father. And then B, being in corporate, having an office with the beanbag, and I think we're going to get into that too if we have time. With the beanbag, it was advertisement. Loved it. Very, very entertaining. And people would come in there and start telling me their problems. And I'd be at my desk like, okay, all right, go ahead. But it was one time I was in the Wendy's bathroom. And a lady came in there and started telling me her problems. And I'm washing my hands like, this is what I got to do.
Natural, yeah.
This is what I got to do. Yes, but my daughter's father, like I said, by me not choosing him and him making it difficult for me when I thought that I did the right thing by literally waking up one morning and saying, hey, I don't want to do this no more. That's what started my journey with Kenya's Keepsake, is because it doesn't have to be traumatic. That causes collateral damage. I don't have much baggage from that relationship. I'm going to be honest. I don't. The baggage honestly came after him. What he took me through after me just breaking up with him. That's where a lot of the strength and a lot of tools and keeping me and my daughter on track, and with a lot of family support too, because my family stepped in like, what? He wasn't doing nothing anyway. Like, you know, and it was that. Yes, but it's still a lot of that. And so going through the tools, and I call it my ROI, my return on investment, watching my daughter thrive, seeing that I made the right decisions and still pushing forth is good enough for me.
You did a great job.
Thank you. And I want everybody else to know that too, especially the young ones, especially because that's where it starts. Like I said, I was 19 when I met him. I was 18 when I met him, but this all transpired up until 25. And it starts when you guys are young. You guys make the decision. I'm not taking any bad experience away from anybody at all, right? But I want you guys to go through them and not sit in that though. Sit in that. I'm not saying
elevate.
Sit in that. My daughter has had some time. She has been, her feelings hurt, and I'm not, sit in that. We're going to learn from that after that. You know what I mean? So that's that. My other regret in life is missing the Bad Boy reunion tour. And it's a thing. 2 of them. That's it. That's it. But I say that really because I want people not to really take life so hard. So many regrets. I regret this. I regret that. I would like, and then that's when that's to live. And I'm dead serious. Those are my only 2 regrets in life. Not going to an HBC and missing that Bad Boy reunion tour. Because now it's never going to come back. So good.
Yeah, that's so good. Big on conflict resolution. Mm-hmm. So can you tell me what's the best, or not even the best, because I know everything works different for everybody, but personally speaking, what's the best conflict resolution in any form of a relationship, whether it's intimate, platonic, or whatever? What do you think is the best tool to use?
So, like I said earlier, the collaborative style, and it is what it is, collaboration, right? Because the other ones are the manipulative, right? We don't want to do that one. The other one is, this is the big one. This is the big one that almost everybody has, the competitive style.
Yes.
Number 1, which should be the last one, right? But everybody's so competitive. So it's really about collaborating. And how you have to do that is by being open and understanding. That's an underrated word. Understanding, right? A lot of people's like communication. I'm trying to get that narrative out of the way too. Communication is key. That narrative, because it's effective communication, right? But it's not only that, it's understanding. So if I can sit up here, and what collaborating does is just basically, look, I see, I hear you. I understand where you're coming from. You understand where I'm coming from. So let's throw out both of what we was doing and find a new way, right?
So
because the competitive style is my way or no way, regardless, my way or no way. And then there's an avoiding style. Okay, whatever. Like, you don't even want to do that.
I'm guilty.
See, and what happens with that is that it causes resentment. And then it becomes a pattern to make that other person feel inferior. You know what I'm saying? Because now it's just like, I can use this because they're going to practice theirs every time. So if you let them get away with that competitive style one time, they're going to do it the next time, and the next time, and the next, because it works with your avoidance style. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's just going to keep on. But when you collaborate, it's like, look, we can agree to disagree on this one, but we do need to find how to agree on something. Okay? So negotiation, those are the ones that is just like, you know, that's when it's like, give a little, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do this. Think about it when it's a bank heist, right?
Exactly,
like, we're going to negotiate. Come outside, you know what I'm saying? We're going to meet in the middle. We both know something is happening. We both know something's gonna happen, but let's negotiate that. So I'm sorry, let's go back. Compromise is the one where somebody is still giving up something, no matter what. Like you're compromising. And if you think about evidence in the room where you'd be like, oh, they compromised the evidence. That's tampering. You don't want to tamper with this decision. Yes, because that there's still some type of manipulation and compromising, right? Because you're like, all right, look, if you do this, I'm gonna do this. Do this for me, I'm gonna do this. But negotiation is, all right, let's throw that out. And then let's bring it back together that makes sense for both of us. So that's the best way. But again, when you cross over that, that's how you get into the collaboration style.
I really do appreciate when you were talking about the avoidance style. A lot of the times, I don't think that we take into consideration how what we do makes somebody else feel. Like, I don't want anybody to feel like I'm making them feel inferior, but what I'm doing may be doing that. And if I'm not aware of that, I'm gonna keep doing it. But if I'm aware of that, I definitely wouldn't keep doing it. So it's important to take that time to really get, like you said, know yourself, know what you're doing. You know, so that's a big one. I've grown. I've started growing, and that's one of the things. Like, I've realized I have to be mindful of. Okay, just because that's not what I meant to do, I still do that. You know, I don't like making people feel bad. So
right, and good. And also with the avoiding style too. Think of it sometimes, depending on how you avoid the situation, it could feel dismissive to the other person.
Exactly.
You know,
and I wouldn't like it if it was done to me.
Yes. Right. Oh my God, that's another one. And I'm gonna pin that. But that whole treat people like you treat others, I'm tossing that out too, because I have a whole nother theory on that, because some people don't even treat themselves good.
Hello. So how I'm gonna treat you? Come on. Like, we gotta throw out these, and it's crazy because, now let's get into it. It's crazy because we keep saying it for generation and generation, they think it's okay. No, it's not right. Treat others the way, but you don't. Now what we're doing? Now we have generations treating people wrong.
Right. So that's why, again, my child, I tell her certain stuff all the time. And let me tell you this one big story. I am big on, if you're not introduced to it, same thing, same concept, then you don't know. If these generations aren't saying these things, broken, all that. So my daughter never had a pacifier. Ever. Because who said that when these babies cry, stick a pacifier and that's going to shut them up? So on my baby shower invitation, do not bring a pacifier in here as a gift, with respect. In the delivery room, I tell the nurse, do not give my baby that little ugly, my baby, if she cries, she cries. Not to this day, because of course, my daughter never had a pacifier. Unfortunately, the problem with people with life, when they don't want to deal with conflict, when they don't want to hear it, they find the pacifier, whatever it might be for people. And it's just like, who said the pacifier is the one that you stick it, give them a snack.
Exactly.
Give them, or just don't do nothing. Let them
let them feel what they,
yes.
Teaching them straight out the womb to, you know.
Exactly. But it's good. I'm very big on undissecting words. Yesterday when I had dissected the Cam Newton and all of them, it was a lot of words that were thrown out that I had the definition up on the screen, because I said, that's not what that meant. I know what I know. I'm not going to come on here. I don't go on no show, no platform and say nothing that I don't know. I will tell y'all in a minute, like, I don't know, but I'm going to find that out. Right. But they was using words like high functioning, low functioning, high value, low value. I said, hold on. Because I've been a relationship coach for a cool minute. And in 2016, I ain't used these words. So where they coming from? We need to stop teaching. We need to stop teaching these generation these words. And we need to go back to the basic words. I'm teaching understanding. I ain't got to make up that. That's what I'm teaching my people. I'm teaching them understanding. I'm teaching them clarification. Those are the things. I'm not making up these big words. I'm not. We're not going to do that.
And it shouldn't have to be too complicated, you know.
I'm 41, and, you know, I still call the 20-year-olds the babies, but I know y'all going through it, because, again, I was where I was when I was 21 and 25, too. But I say that it's more of encouraging, because there is so much stuff y'all have to do. I don't even think that I'm older than you guys, only because of the evolution of the world. I'm learning with you. My daughter's learning with me. I'm learning with her. I'm never telling her, do it this way. My daughter brings me so much. Even when, look, my YouTube channel, she like, Mama, you need to fix this. I'm like, no, don't just post. She's like, we don't watch it like that. All right, I'm like, girl. She be like, "Oh, mama, yo, talk about a critic." But I love it. You know what I'm saying? Because I need that. And too many parents or older generations are like, "Little girl, little girl." Yeah. Tell me. I need all the babies to tell me.
You had one message for your younger self, girlfriend. What would you tell yourself?
Nothing. Listen, and I'm gonna be honest. I wouldn't. I did what I did, and as long as I had continued to learn from my experience, and again, it wasn't all roses. I was bullied, external family issues, favorite uncles passing away, but I wouldn't tell her nothing. I love it. So, but what I would like to, because I know that's a great question. So and maybe it's because I do have a daughter, I always turn into what would I tell my daughter? Right? Because she is my younger self. We're 20 years apart, and I'm looking at her in the mirror. So for my younger self, I wouldn't. I would be like,
I love that, though.
Good. Yes.
I mean, you're very happy with everything that you did, and you're content with that. I love that.
Thank you. Yes. But I would tell my younger daughter to just anything. So the one relationship tip that I have always told her is to be with someone who knows how to treat you well, even when they're in the mood. Right? That is one thing. But just generally about life, I just say live it. Live it. Live it. Yeah. And it's hard to not take things personal, especially when it's your first encounter. But learn from every encounter like it's going to be your last encounter.
Yes, because you never know. It just might.
You never know. You never know.
Thank you so much, Kenya. I'm going to make sure I plug you all in the description box. Y'all need to check out my girl YouTube, check out her website, check out her social media. Everything is going to be in the description. Mind y'all are amazing. You are worthy. You are blessed. And you are the best. We'll see y'all next time. Bye.